Okay, can you see the slide movements?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now this is another problem statement. Okay, so here we'll be using the one more concept called as the switch statement. We already know, we have studied the stuffs related to the switch statement. Okay, you know already how switch statement works, right? Okay, can anybody tell me the switch statement, what is a syntax for the switch statement?
Switch
Okay.
into the bracket means parenthesis,
Okay.
choice.
Choice.
This is yes.
Yeah, next.
Braces, opening braces.
Open a brace.
Case
Okay. Okay. Case. Okay.
1.
So why you are writing this as 1? Is it mentioned to people to write it as 1 here?
Choice 1, ma'am.
Okay, so whatever value choice we are having here, if it is character, we'll be taking this as a character in single quotes. If it is the integer, we'll be taking the integer value that we are going to assign for the choice there. Okay, so this is the choice value. It's how many choice value you are going to get. So those many case values we are going to write here. Okay, for followed by, so you have to leave a space between the case and the case number here. Next. Continue.
Break.
So write any statement related to this particular case value, right? And then you have to use a break statement. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next.
Another case.
Another case. Again statement break. Okay. So how many
Simple.
case value you wanted to write? You people can write. What may be the last thing?
Default.
Default. Okay. So default. Again write the statement. How many statement you wanted to write? Are you writing? Okay. So any statement, are you writing the break after this?
No, ma'am.
Because this is the last statement of the switch. No need of usage of the break there. Because after default, so it is going to execute the statement written for this, and it is going to execute the statement which are following the case statement. So no need of usage of the break after the statement that is written for the default statement. Okay, so please remember this. This is very important for us. And these values, whatever value you are going to take here, these are the choice values. And these choice may be an integer. It may yield an integer value or character. This you have to remember very carefully, because maximum students will make a mistake that, so it may lead it, they may enter the floating point value for this. Okay, by mistake also if you enter floating point value for this, so this switch statement will start giving you the error message. Is that clear, student? This is very important fact that I am dealing. Okay, so if you are dealing with the switch, so go ahead with the yielding of the expression must yield either integer value or character. So any doubt regarding the switch statement here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I've already discussed. I've given the example also. I've just revisited so that we people can use that switch statement inside this. Okay, so now we'll be working on this particular problem statement now. Develop a program to solve simple computational problems. Okay, using arithmetic expressions. Okay, and use each operators leading to simulation of a commercial calculator. You are not supposed to use any built-in function for this. This is what is given. So don't use any built-in mathematical functions. Okay, so you have to write a program which is going to act as a commercial calculator. And you already know what the commercial calculator will have. Okay, what are the things that you people can expect out of a commercial calculator?
addition, subtraction,
Very good.
division,
Okay.
Modulus.
Modulus. Okay. Multiplication. It won't do multiplication.
Yes, ma'am. Multiplication also.
Okay. So now these are the expectations from particular commercial calculator. Okay. So if you are working for as a part of the business there, we expect at least these functions to be adopted by that particular calculator there. Now our duty is we have to write a program which will do these operations. Okay, that's what we call it as a simulation of a commercial calculator, and we'll be worried about only these operations. Is that okay? Is
yes,
it
ma'am.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. Okay, then how do I do? So usually what we suggest for the students is you go ahead with the menu driven kind of stuff. Menu driven. So what do you mean by menu driven? So you go to restaurant, no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You is okay. So
There
you
will
will
be
ask for the
choice.
menus, no? What that menu talks about?
Content,
The chef
Correct,
want
no? Right? Okay. So similar to that, we are also doing a menu-driven kind of stuff for this commercial calculator. Right. So what is that menu-driven? Okay, we'll suggest something to the end user whenever they do the calculation. Right? What is that? So I will say that. Okay, first, if you press 1, so it is going to give you an option called as it is going to carry out addition. Okay, if you press 2, it is going to do something called as subtraction. If you press 3, it is going to do something called as multiplication. Okay, if you press 4, it's going to do the division. Okay, if you press 5, it is going to do the modulus. So in this case, we know that it is going to calculate the remainder. Is it okay? So it's going to display this. So whenever you start working on this particular or whenever you execute this particular program, okay, it's going to display this. Menu card will be displayed, no? In the similar fashion, this will be displayed. So it's your choice whether you want to go ahead with the subtraction, multiplication, division, or the modulus operation, or the addition operation. You have to choose. You have to give your operation. I mean the choice there, right? So these are acting as the choices. Press 1, it is going to do the addition. If you press 2, it's going to do the subtraction. 3, it's going to do the multiplication, something like that. Is it okay? Is
yes,
it
ma'am.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So now these are the choices of mine. So along with this, I have to enter the number. As usual, you'll be reading 2 numbers. Okay. So now I'll read 2 numbers. After reading 2 numbers, so any one of these options I'll be choosing there. I'll be entering the value of choice there. Okay. So that choice may be either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 there. So depending on that, it has to do the operation on this particular numbers and it has to yield me the result there. Okay, so I'll be entering the number for these two, A and B. Then I'll give a choice something like 1. So in that case, it is going to take the values of A and B. Then it is going to do the addition operation on this A and B. And the result of this will be stored in some of the variable there. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you are not interested to do the addition there, okay, so again you are reading A and B there, then you can give a choice as something like 2 there. Okay, choice is given as 2 there, then it is going to do the subtraction, okay, A minus B, and the result will be stored in the, okay, some variable called as sub there. Okay, whatever variable you are going to write there, so in that particular stuff it is going to be stored there. So similarly, if you go ahead with the multiplication, okay, you have to give a choice as 3 there, then it is going to do the multiplication on the 2 operands that you have read as A and B there, and the result of that will be stored in one of the variable, maybe M value or MUL value variable. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now my question is, if you go ahead with division, okay, if you go ahead with division, so do you need to take care of anything there?
B must not equal to 0.
Very good, right? So you have to take care that you have to apply a condition that B shouldn't be equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, then
It will get to indeterminate form.
correct, no?
It is
So
not.
it is going to give us a value which is not determined, infinity, right? So that's why you have to be very careful whenever you enter the values. If by mistake also, if we enter the denominator term as 0 there, then it has to check and it has to tell us that, okay, so division is not possible. Okay, if B is equal to 0, then you have to say some, message to the end user telling that division is not possible. Okay, or we cannot get the value for that. Otherwise, you carry forward the other stuff as usual. Okay, so you will be saying that you'll be working on what we call it as the division operation then. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is true for the division operation. What is the thing that you have to take care in case modulus operator there?
There also same thing, ma'am. 0. B must not equal to 0.
B is not equal to 0. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay? Okay. So one more thing, is there anything that you need to take care other than that also? Hello? Is there anything that you have to take care? Do you feel like taking care of anything? So now what kind of a data type that you are going to declare for A and B?
Real numbers.
Real values. If you are taking real value, can you do modulus operation on real values?
No,
No, ma'am.
No, it's a integer division, correct now?
yes, ma'am.
Right? Then what you have to take care there? Either you make these as integer numbers, okay, you read these things as integers. If you are reading a floating point value, then you forcibly convert these floating point values into integer before you proceed with the division, that is modulus operation. Is it okay? Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
How do
ma'am.
you convert the given floating point value A into integer forcibly?
Type conversion.
Type conversion. So how do I write that?
Float equals int of that number.
No, it is float only. It's given as float only. I wanted to convert this into integer. How do I do that?
Int of AB.
Int. How do I write int? Hello.
Bracket int of
Int.
AB.
Bracket int A B.
AB.
Shall I write like this? A B. Is it something like this? Hello. Is it something like that you are expecting me to write like this?
No, ma'am.
How do I write? Yeah, tell me. Int. How do I write? How do I forcibly typecast the given variable? I already mentioned it's a floating point value. I wanted to convert this into integer value. How do I do that?
Int A
int A. Very good. So if you're going ahead with modulus operation, I'll be writing mod, okay, then followed by int of B. This is how we write. Is it okay? So equal to sum. Okay, I'll be placing this inside one of the variable. Okay, so this is modulus. You take any value, maybe M1. Okay, so this holds the remainder of this. So let me write it as the remainder itself, R. Is that okay? Is it okay?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so let's proceed with the algorithm. Okay, then we'll go ahead with the what we call it as the program afterwards. Okay, first it has to display the menu to me and I have to read the values. Then I'll proceed with the choice, that is switch statement. Okay, go ahead with this. Now program, that is I've written a pseudo code over here. Okay, it is left to you people what you wanted to write. Pseudo code, algorithm or the flowchart. Okay, you can choose any one of those three and you write it. Right? Okay, so now it is acting as, I've given a title for this. So it is a commercial calculator that people are implementing here. Right? So solve the simple computational problems. So we are asking you people to enter the values of A and B. Okay, it is, we are reading those things, A and B. And this is just for our sake, because I wanted to know what value I have to enter for the choice, because I am going to use the switch statement there. Okay, 1 for the addition, 2 for the subtraction. Okay, this is just a menu. Okay, what I have to enter for doing these operations. Is it okay?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
okay? If I don't enter this, what happens? If I
The
don't
user
display
will
this, yeah, user will
not get what you are.
not be knowing that. User will not be able to, okay, tell that what value we have to enter for the choice. Correct? So this has to be displayed there. Okay, so you may ask why only number, madam? Can't we write the plus minus, okay, division, something like, sorry, multiplication, division and mod there. So you people can write because this is a single character. Okay, but whenever you are writing there, you have to enter these characters as a choice there. Okay, so anything is okay with us. For simplicity, we have taken an integer. Is it okay? Is that okay to everybody? Hello?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So last case, I have told you about the vowels there. Okay, A, E, I, O, U. There I have written A, E, I, O and U there. Right? So I have written these things. Now I wanted to show how you people can write the numbers there. That's why I replaced this with the numbering system here. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that okay? Any doubt in this? If you have any doubts, you people
No
can
doubt.
ask me before I proceed. Okay. Now we are entering the choice. So this choice must be any one of these values that we have quoted here. We have written here. Okay. So this is that's why we are printing this. Then we are going to read a choice here. So once we read the choice, okay, so then we'll be going ahead with the switch statement. Switch depending on a choice, whatever choice value you are entering here, okay, that you have entered here. So depending on that, it is going to make a jump there, right? So if this choice is 1 here, then it is going to go ahead with the case 1. If it is 2 here, then it is going ahead with the case 2 here. If it is 3 here, then it is going ahead with the case 3 here. So in case 1, sum is equal to A plus B. We are doing the summation there and you have to print the same stuff there. Okay, then after that we are breaking the case statement. Then case 2, you already know, 2 is subtraction. We are going to proceed with the subtraction. Sub A minus B, print sub is equal to whatever value got here, so that we are printing here. And again we are closing we are breaking the case 2 there. So case 3 is multiplication. So mul is another variable. We are doing the multiplication of these two and we are dumping that into mul there and we are printing the same value and we are breaking the case. Then if you go ahead with case 4, now I said, okay, denominator should not be 0. If denominator is 0, so division is not possible. All right, so that's why we are using this. We'll check for the denominator. If b equal to 0, denominator is equal to 0, okay, then we'll be saying that divide by 0 error. Okay, so we cannot expect any results out of it. Otherwise, okay, if it is non-zero, then we'll go ahead with the else part there. Then what we are going to do? So we'll do the division operation and we are going to print the value there, right? Okay, so in both the cases, if it is true also, we are breaking. If it is false also, we are doing this and we are breaking this. Okay, so this break is associated with both if and else statement because this is a statement which is following the whole if statement. Is it okay, students? Is it okay, students? Okay, so now whenever you have multiple statements that you are interested to write, okay, so try to write them inside the begin and end there. Okay, so because I have only one statement, I have not used begin and end here, but I have two statements within this else part. That's why I have used the begin and end here. Okay, and I am writing a pseudo code here. Okay, so now it's better to use the begin and end for that. So any doubt in case 4, division operation? Any problem in this? Say something. No. Okay. So let's go ahead with the, okay, so next bit. So that is modulus. Go ahead with modulus. Again, we'll check for b value. If b is equal to 0, result is undefined there. Otherwise, we'll do the mod operation. Mod is equal to a percentage b. Okay, we'll be printing the modulus as the reminder there. Okay, that mod value. Whatever mod value we got here, that will be printing there. Okay, so in this case, we assume that we have read all the data in the form of integers. Then, okay, so now I have entered some other values because they have given me the options as 1 to 5 there. So any other options other than these 5. Okay, so instead of 5, if I press 6 there, where it has to go? If I press
Default
6 there,
statement.
pardon?
Default statement.
Correct. So it has to go to default statement, right? So in default, I mentioned that. So whatever choice you have entered, it is an invalid choice because that choice is not present inside the options there, right? So it has to print as invalid choice and it has to come out of the switch statement. And I am closing the switch also, and this is the end of the main program also. So is it okay to everybody? Is this pseudo code is okay? Right? Okay, so let's proceed with the program. Right? Okay, so what is the first thing that we have supposed to include? So if you want to write the documentation for that, you write title of the program, what this program is going to do.
Simulation of commercial calculator.
Calculator. Very good. Okay. So now program to solve the simple computational problems. First, what is the thing that you have to include?
Hash include.
Header files.
We are right. Header files we are including. Then int main. Right. So what are the variables that we are taking here? I have taken everything is int there. So that's why I have not gone for the explicit typecasting there. Okay, so if you want to use these as a float, then if you want to convert that is, the typecasting there, that is also feasible. It is left to you people. Okay, so it is choice is yours. So I have used it as integer. All are integers there. So whenever I go ahead with mod operation also, so it is an integer modulus there. So there is no need, that is integer division there. So there is no need of going ahead with the explicit typecasting there. Clear? It purely depends on what you people are using. What is the data type that you are using for that particular variables there. I've used everything as variables, integers here. So I have not gone for the typecasting in the next, upcoming steps there. So these are the only variables that we people are using now.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So now what is the next step? What the end user
Printf.
must ask. All right. So what should I ask to the end user?
Enter a choice.
Directly you want enter choice. I don't know what choice I have to enter.
First print the addition, multiplication, subtraction, division.
Okay. So directly you want me to do that without reading the values. You want me to go ahead with the options there.
No, ma'am. Printing the choices, ma'am. 1, 2, 3, 4. That
Okay,
adds
what
Print
to
the
I'm
choice and
okay, sir.
enter the choice.
Now, so before I go ahead with the choice, you want me to enter the values or no? You want values for A and B or no? Before I proceed with any of the operations on those operands.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So I'll ask you people to enter the values of A and B there. So I'm reading the same thing here. Right? So it is percentage D because I have used it as an integer. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes.
you have to print the menu. Okay, what is the menu? What is the menu that you wanted to display for the end users?
Addition, subtraction.
Addition, simply you have to print addition, subtraction.
One for
Very good, because I have to enter that as a choice. If you don't print that 1, 2, 3 along with the subtraction, multiplication, addition there, right? Then I am unable to do anything there. Okay, so I don't know what value I have to enter for choice. So the printing of that particular message is to give you the choice value there. Because afterwards you are supposed to enter the choice value. If I simply print addition, subtraction, so what you have to enter the value for the choice there. Right? So this display is purely for giving you the choice. Clear? What value you are supposed to enter for the choice. Okay, for that purpose we are going ahead with this. Are you clear with what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so now this is going to do like this. Printf 1 addition, 2 subtraction, 3 multiplication. Okay, so are they coming on different lines or on the same line?
On different lines.
Different
different
lines.
lines.
Correct now? Why?
New tab.
Consequences.
So everywhere I
Slash
have used the backslash in there. Am I clear with my statement now? So every statement is coming on a different lines there. It is clearly displaying 1 addition, 2 subtraction, 3 multiplication, 4 division, 5 modulus. Okay, so it is displaying like this on the screen for you all. So once this is displayed, then it is asking you people to enter
Choice.
Nice.
enter your choice, right? Okay, then you have to enter the choice, and I have taken these as numbers here. That's why I write this as percentage D and ampersand choice, and it is also declared as integer itself. Choice is declared as integer itself. Is that clear? So these things should be very clear. Okay, so if you write here the integer here, so it should be whatever choice you are reading, it should be an integer. So this must be declared as an integer there. If you are reading, if instead of this, if these are characters here, then you have to write this as percentage C, and it should be this particular stuff choice should be of type character there. It should not be integer there in that case. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Add with switch statement. Switch, depending on a choice, I am going to enter into the case. First case value. Okay, because I know there are 5 choices for me. 1 for the subtraction, addition, 2 for the subtraction, 3 for the multiplication, 4 for the division, and 5 for the what we call it as the modulus, and fifth one is for the default. I mean, sixth one is default there, right? So case one, so I'm going ahead with whatever I have said for the pseudocode, I am just replacing that with the program. The same, I mean, the syntaxes I have picked from the C language, and I am replacing that pseudocode with the syntaxes of the C language there. Okay, if you are very much, I mean, good in writing the algorithm, so I assure that so translation of that into programming is very easy if you know the syntaxes of particular language perfectly. Okay, so this is the first case, and it is printing as usual. Sum is equal to percentage d. This d is replaced by sum here, and I am breaking because I'm using a case statement there. Every case must end with the break statement, because soon after execution of case 1, I have to come out of the switch statement. Case 2. What case 2 does?
Subtraction.
Correct?
Subtraction.
Right. Okay, so now is there any doubt in this?
No, no.
Right. Case 3. Case 3 is doing multiplication, right? So this is according to the choice that we have given. 1 for the addition, 2 for the subtraction, 3 for the multiplication there. And it is doing that, and it is printing that value, and it is coming out of the switch statement. Then case 4.
Division.
Division. So I'll check for condition, because denominator should not be 0. If it is 0, then divide by 0 error. Okay, else have to do the division operation. And please remember, I have 2 statements here. I have only 1 statement. Only 1 statement is there. No need of opening and a closing brace. I hope I'm making it clear. Only 1 statement. No need of opening and a closing brace here. Okay. So if you write also, it doesn't matter. If you want to write, you people can write. But if you don't write also, it is not mattering for it. But if you have multiple statement associated for either if or else there, that must be written inside the flower parenthesis. Student do, okay, so lot of mistake whenever they write multiple statement either as a part of the if statement or a else statement, or maybe for the looping statements there. Okay, so that care you have to, utmost care you have to take. That's what I wanted to convey here. So any doubt regarding this? Hello, is it okay?
No.
Okay, so this is division operation. Okay, so then it is printing that. So after this, whether this if is executed or else is executed, then what I have to do?
Break, ma'am.
Break, correct? So I'll be using the break statement here. Right, so that, so any printing, I mean doing any one of these 2 operations, it has to come out of the 4th case. So what is the 5th case?
Modulus.
What is 5th case? Modulus, right? Again, I'll check for the denominator. If it is 0, result is undefined. Else, it has to do the modulus operation, and it has to print the remainder there, right? So if any one of these 2 is executed, then afterwards it has to break here. All right. So next, what is the next statement?
Default.
Default.
Default, right? So default should be what you are supposed to write for default.
Printf in
What you are supposed to print? What is your expectation for default? If any number other than 1 to 5 is entered, it should be an invalid input. Correct, no?
yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay, so that's what it is printing, invalid choice. Then we are closing the switch statement. Okay, this is closure of the switch statement. And then finally return 0, because I have started with int main there. If you are not writing int main there, don't use this. If you have simply written main there, don't use the return 0. If you have used it as int main there, then use the last statement as return 0. Then close the main. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt regarding this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just execute these things and I'll show it to you people. Now tell me, are you able to see the screen or no? So before I proceed with. Now can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So this is a program. The same program whatever I have given. Okay, program to the simple computational problem here. Okay, so int the same stuff I have given. Enter the values. Okay, whatever I have explained, I have written the same thing. There is no change in that. And I'll try to execute the same thing. First compile. So no errors. Then I'll run it. So it is asking me to enter the values of A and B. Okay, enter the values of A and B. Make it fast. At least I'll go ahead with ternary operator today.
16 and 4.
6 and 4.
16 and
Twice.
4,
It
ma'am.
is displaying the menu for you all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3.
3. Okay, it has to do the multiplication. So 4 into 6 is?
24.
Is it giving you the right answer there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So go ahead with one more. 9 and 0. So I'll go ahead with the modulus of that is division operation for. What is your expectation for this?
Not defined.
Correct? Not defined or divide by 0 error? I think we have written it as divide by 0 error.
Yes,
Correct?
ma'am.
Just check it out what I have written. Divide by 0 error. Okay, it has to show me the same thing. Divide by 0 error. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll show you some of the other example that I have already displayed on the program itself. Okay, for you all kind of outputs. Okay, so now this is the first value 2 and 3 and we have done with the 1. Okay, it is given me 5 there. It's a subtraction there. 2, 4 and 2. Okay, so now it's multiplication, right? 2 and 3 and then it is a division there, right? Okay, I think only these things, right? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is all
Ma'am,
about, yeah.
what happens, ma'am, if we take floating values?
I told you, you people can take float value. There is no issue. You can take float values. Right. So now you
No,
can take
no,
float.
ma'am.
Huh.
Not, not
Tell
clearing
me.
that.
Pardon?
Not clearing that int, ma'am. Leave it itself and take.
You cannot read floating point value for this. Okay. It won't accept also. Because you have declared it as integer and if you enter something like 2.5 there, it is not accepting that data. Okay. It never accepts an integer, floating point value for an integer because it's not percentage f there. I've written it as percentage d. How can you tell this scanf statement to take a floating point value for an integer there? It never accepts. I already told it never gives any error. Okay, but it never accepts any data also. You have to be very careful whenever you use scanf. And it is you have to take uttermost care whenever you play with at least scanf statement. Maximum time students will make a mistake while reading the data. Scanf, you have to be very careful. Scanf never throws any error messages. Even though if you don't use ampersand also, it never throws error.
Fine, ma'am.
Right? So please take care whenever you read the data using a scanf statement. Is that clear?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
clear? Okay. Okay. So this is all about the switch statement. Okay. So now you already know. So in this case, okay, if you look at this particular stuff, so we have dealt with the two-way selection statement. So these are the two-way selection statement. We went for if statement, if else statement, nested if else statement, and cascaded if else statement there, okay, or else if ladder there. Then we went for what we call it as the multi-way, that is switch statement. Only one statement is available as a multi-way selection. Now we'll talk about the ternary statement, right? So these are the three types of control statement that we people are studying under the C language. Okay, so we have dealt with these two. Okay, there are many, so you can have n number of problem statement on these stuffs. I've given you some of them. Okay, so I have actually taken more examples. So those, I mean, even though nothing is mentioned in your syllabus, I've taken maximum examples for you all, and I've executed those stuffs also, and I've shown it to you people. Okay, and it's now your turn. Take many more examples. Okay, so many examples are available in the real world. You pick those examples. Okay, so and I've given, I already mentioned, you just open the question bank that I've given. There also I've mentioned some of the problem statements. Okay, so you can try to write the programs for those stuffs also. Right, so just to get more exposure towards the C language. Right, so now I will go ahead with what we call it as. Okay, so next one is, I think,
Ternary.
ternary. Okay, so I'll go ahead with the ternary statement. What is this ternary? Ternary statement. You already studied this. It's a conditional statement, right? So this is one of the conditional operator. What is that conditional operator? Question mark followed by colon. Okay, you already studied this, if I'm not wrong, in the operator heading. Have you studied this? Question mark followed by colon. Correct, no? Have you studied?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So what is the actual syntax for this? It is variable is equal to expression question mark expression 2 and expression 3. Meaning of this is, so I'll check for certain condition here. If this condition is true, it is checking for that particular condition. If this condition is true, expression 2 is evaluated. If this is false, then expression 3 will be executed or evaluated. Okay, this is what we have studied. Question mark, colon, colon. The meaning of this is, we have written something here, condition here. If this condition has got two outputs, one is false, another one is true. If it is true, the statement which is written soon after the question mark will be executed. If it is false, then the statement that is written after the colon will be executed. Right? And whatever result that you are going to get there, so that will be placed inside the variable there. Okay, so whenever you write this expression, you write the expressions in such a way that it must yield variable such a way that it should be equivalent to our same data type of this particular variable there. Okay, if I take something here, let me take small. Okay, so if I write here equal to A less than B question mark, if this is a condition of mine. Okay, then how do I write this? This is an expression. Is A less than B is an expression?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now A less than B. What should be written after question mark?
A and B.
A, correct? Why A?
If it is
It's
true.
true.
If it is true means A is smaller, correct now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, else?
B.
B, ma'am.
So this B must be written after the colon. Okay, if this is smaller than this value, then A will be placed inside the small. Okay, if this is not true, means B is lesser than A, then B will be placed inside the small. This is how this particular expression is going to work. So I've taken one simple example here. Look at this. Okay, so int A equal to 5, B is equal to 3 there, small. Small is equal to A greater than B. Okay, question mark A and B. Okay, so now you take anything, it's not actually, it should be large, I think. Correct, no? Yes,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
no? Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
if it is large,
Yes.
then I'll be saying A greater than B. If I write here 5, write here 3, is it true?
True.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then what value should be assigned to large?
5.
A value.
A
What
means
is A value?
5.
5.
5. 5 will be assigned to this. So instead of this, if it is something like 2, if it is something like 10. So in that case, this is 2, now this is 10. Is it true?
False, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
False. Then what should be assigned to large then?
B value.
B.
Correct? Is it okay?
Yes,
B
ma'am.
is 10, so 10 will be placed inside the large. So among 2 and 10, 10 is the largest and that will be assigned to large then. Is this okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so sometimes what people will be thinking of, okay, so why only simple ternary statement? So can we go ahead with nesting of the ternary operator also? Okay, so that is also feasible. Okay, I'll show it to you people, the same stuff. Nesting or nested ternary operator. What is the stuff that we people can write for this? Okay, this is nesting, right? Okay, so condition within a condition that we are supposed to write for this. How do we write? Okay, so look into this. What I have written here, all right? So here I have written something like small, right? So these are the variables. So small is equal to, so this is one statement, okay? And this is another statement that we are taking. So how do I write? So this I'll show it in a different manner, okay? Because I want everything to be clear in this. 1 second. Okay. So this is, if you look at the brace here, can you see the brace? Opening
Yes, ma'am.
brace. Okay, so now this is my condition that I am going to place. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if this condition is true, I am going to execute the statement that is written soon after the question mark. Is it okay? If this condition is true, the expression that is written soon after question mark will be executed. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if this condition is false,
Next.
if this
Other
condition
one.
is false, the statement which
Next
is,
one.
or the expression which is written after the colon will be executed. This statement will be executed. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now let's look into the example. All right, so now that will be very clear. Now looking at this, can anybody tell what it is going to find? Looking at this expression, can anybody tell me what it is going to do?
Smallest of 3.
Very good. Correct? It is going to find you the smallest of 3 numbers. Right? Okay, so let's write the values for this. What is A? A is 5. B is 3. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is it true
Yes,
or
ma'am.
false?
False.
Is it true or
False.
false? False.
False.
Where
False.
should I
False.
go? Where should I
Else.
go? L statement, that is the
Expression.
statement which is written after the colon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll go here because this is false now. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Okay. So what is B?
3.
3.
3.
What is C?
7.
7.
7. Is 3 is less than 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Is 3 is less than 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
True.
Yes. Correct? If it is true, what should be, written inside the small?
B.
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 What is B?
3.
B is 3.
3. 3 will be written inside the small. Is 3 is the smallest among all 3 numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it working fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it
Yes,
okay?
ma'am. Yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now if I ask you, so find the largest of these 3 numbers. How do you find? What is the equation that you people can write? Find large also. Largest of these 3 numbers.
Large equal.
Large equal
Bracket.
bracket A,
Another brace.
another brace. You don't want condition for this.
A
Okay.
before.
Oh, okay,
before
okay, okay. Tell me the condition. A
Greater than B.
Greater than B.
greater than B. Okay, question mark.
Bracket.
If this is, let's assume it, if it is true, then what it has to do? So it has to go ahead with this expression. Correct,
Yes,
na? What you
Yes,
wanted to
Yes,
write
ma'am.
for this now?
A greater than C.
A is already greater than B. Now you are checking A is greater than C or what? Correct, na?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Question mark?
A
A,
and C.
A
A
and C.
colon C.
Is it okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
A colon C. Else, if this is false, what is the meaning of false? B is greater than A.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, what is the condition that you are supposed to check for this now?
B should be greater than C.
B should be greater than C. Correct?
Yes,
Question
ma'am.
mark? Question mark?
B colon C.
B
B colon
colon
C.
C and end with the semicolon. Now check it out. Okay. So now A is 5, B is 3. Correct? Is it true?
Yes, ma'am.
True, ma'am.
Is it true? Yes. So it will go to
Yes,
this
ma'am.
now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
A is 5, C is what?
7.
7. Is it true?
False, ma'am.
False.
False. Where it has to go?
C.
C,
So
ma'am.
it is going to execute or it is going to place the value of C inside the large there. Correct? Because it is false. If it is true, it would have placed A into large there. But it is false now. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What is C value?
7.
7.
7 is placed inside the large. Is 7 is largest among these three numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it working fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it working fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's look into the another class. So you wrote this program. What is this program is talking about?
Largest among 3 numbers.
Correct, na? So you wrote these many statements. Have you written these many statements to find the largest of three numbers?
No, ma'am.
Have you
No.
written this program to find the largest of three numbers? Is this program is telling you to find the largest of three numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct,
Yes,
na?
ma'am.
Is it finding the largest of three numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's clearly mentioned there. It has to find the largest of three numbers. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? But look at this statement. What you have written now. You have written this statement. This statement. Correct, na? You have written this statement, no? Last statement. Look at the last statement. What it is doing?
Yes, ma'am.
What it is doing?
Printing the largest among.
Largest
Correct, no? Only one line of statement. Only one line of code is giving you the largest of three numbers. There you wrote nearly 10 to 15 lines of code to find the largest of three numbers. So that is replaced with how many lines of codes?
1.
1.
One line. So are you agreeing with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how it works. Clear? So it
Yes, ma'am.
purely depends how you are interested to use the available syntaxes inside your program. And it comes by practice. You have to put maximum effort to learn all these things on your own. So we'll be just giving you the ideas how these can be used, and it is your effort that you have to put to what to use when. Clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so any doubts you people can ask me before I close today's session. So this is about ternary. Okay, so unconditional control statements, that is the second part of it that we'll be looking in the next class. So any doubt in the ternary operator, students? Hello? Do you have any doubts? People can ask me. I've already mentioned about ternary. I've just talked about, today I told about the nested ternary. Is it okay? Say something.
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Okay, so any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So shall we close today's session then?